new tonight. For the first time, the man who was shot while tubing on the Little Wolf River takes us back to the day of the crime.
When we first met Matthew Demeny, he showed us the large scar on his head. You might remember that from some 2 years ago. At that time, it was to refute reports that his injuries were not life-threatening. He still has a titanium plate in his head to prove they were. Because the case was still making its way through the courts, he couldn't tell us exactly what happened to him until now.
When my fiance yelled and I turned around when he did it, he pulled out a gun and shot me.
For the first time, Matthew Demeny is speaking publicly about what happened to him during a family tubing party along the Little Wolf River in July of 2021. After all this time, his cousin's partner, Cornelius Russell, pleaded no contest to aggravated battery causing great bodily harm. Demeny acknowledges that he had to retrieve a beer can from the river that somebody else had let float around.
I mentioned to take out of the river, did pick the can out of the river.
But to this day, he has no idea why Russell targeted him.
And we were drinking and whatnot like that, but there was never any confrontation. There was never any like bad looks or yelling at each other or cuss, you know. I remember looking at him and saying, "Why do you have a gun?" Just like this. And then I remember waking up in the water behind.
Witnesses scattered that day. Some nurses who happened to be there helped keep Demeny's skull intact along the shoreline. Russell was given 7 years under the deal. That included dropping additional charges of having a handgun as an already convicted felon. But when given the opportunity to address the court, he remained silent.
When someone does something like that is criminal and someone else is involved and it affects their life, there's certain answers that should be answered faster. Especially when he turned himself in while I was still laying in the bed.
Instead of answers, Russell's defense said they would raise questions and reasonable doubt if the case ever went to trial.
There was no firearm recovered, no bullet, no shell casing, and at a prior motion hearing, the defense pointed out various items of evidence that were also not preserved by law enforcement or the state.
So this was a hard case to prove?
It was a difficult case for the state to prove, which is part of why the resolution was reached.
But the defendant still wanted to take some responsibility.
That's all we had to say on the matter.
District Attorney Kat Turner told me the state would have presented its own expert to say Demeny was definitely shot. But as explained by the assistant DA in court, conflicts emerged between the hearing dates and the victim's work schedule.
If the victim has told us, "I will not be making it to any of these court dates," from the state's perspective, we don't have a case. There is not. There's not a triable matter.
Demeny said repeated delays with the defendant's first attorney took up all of his time off. Since his injury left him unable to return to his house framing business, he makes far less at an automotive yard. Despite a $40,000 victim's assistance payment from the government, since he was uninsured, he has more than $100,000 in outstanding medical bills.
There's a lot of problems, you know, whether it's physically or mentally or financially.
Demeny had to teach himself how to walk again since there was no money for rehab. There is a restitution hearing scheduled where the court could decide on payments from the defendant to the victim. Demeny says it's not about the money, it's about people, you, the viewer, understanding what really happens to victims. We have more exclusive excerpts from the plea deal hearing on our website, wearegreenbay.com.